Hey everyone, today we're diving into the wild world of Megabonk items. Honestly, there are so many of them that it's easy to get lost trying to figure out what actually works. Some items are super situational and only shine with certain characters or weapons, while others are just plain meta, the kind you slap on any build and instantly feel like a legend. In this video, we're breaking down all the items that are actually worth picking up. You'll notice a few are missing from our list, and that's on purpose. We're skipping the stuff that's just not cutting it in the current meta. So buckle up, because we're about to make your Megabonk runs way more chaotic and way more fun. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking items in Megabonk. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The items in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Electric Plug, Golden Sneakers, Idle Juice, and Bloody Cleaver. Alright, let's get real for a second. Sometimes in Megabonk, not all items are created equal. Some of them make you feel like an unstoppable legend, while others, well, they make you wonder why they even exist. Welcome to the C tier, where items are more meh than wow. And honestly, you might be better off just staring at your own feet for a while. First up, we've got the Electric Plug. Sounds shocking, right? Well, literally, it does a little shock, but don't get too excited. The electric shock it sends out deals minimal damage, so unless you're really into torturing yourself just to see numbers go up slightly, this one can feel like a tiny, disappointing tingle. Plus, you have to constantly take damage to get any decent output. It's like paying for a gym membership and then just sitting on the treadmill doing nothing. Painful, pointless, but technically working. Next on the list is the Golden Sneaker. This one is all about patience and luck, and then more patience. You need multiple duplicates before you start seeing any real earning rate benefits, which means it's basically useless in the late game. By the time it actually becomes somewhat useful, you're already rolling with way better items that do the job without needing a full collection. Imagine running in circles hoping for a snack at the end. That's the Golden Sneaker for you. Moving on, let's talk Idle Juice. Oh boy, this one is tricky. The idea is simple. Stack it up and reap some idle rewards. The reality, even the tiniest enemy nudge can waste your whole stack. So, high risk and very low reward. Basically, it's like trying to balance a glass of water on a roller coaster. You can try, you might succeed, but mostly, you're just gonna get wet. Now don't get me wrong, Bloody Cleaver isn't a total dud. If you're rocking a lifesteal build, it can actually provide a nice boost for other Bloodmark items. It's like having a little buddy who helps you level up faster. But here's the catch, if your build isn't centered around lifesteal, this thing is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Looks cool, swings cool, but does it help? Only sometimes. The C tier items are really a mixed bag of quirky experiments. You can definitely make them work if you're crafty or if you just really enjoy suffering a little. Electric Plug and Idle Juice test your patience, Golden Sneaker tests your persistence, and Bloody Cleaver tests your dedication to a specific build. None of them are outright broken, but they all require some serious commitment to shine. What I find kind of funny is how each of these items makes you rethink your strategy mid-game. Like you're cruising along feeling invincible, then boom, you realize your Electric Plug is barely scratching the enemy while you're taking hits left and right. Or your Idle Juice stack evaporates because a tiny push from a random mob just happened. It's brutal, but in a weirdly entertaining way. Honestly, C tier items are the underdogs of Megabonk. They're not here to make your life easy. They're here to challenge your patience, your skill, and sometimes your sanity. But hey, if you enjoy the thrill of turning something mediocre into a surprisingly effective combo, this tier is basically a playground. You just have to be willing to laugh at your failures along the way. So yeah, if you're hunting for high-impact, game-changing items, look elsewhere. But if you're in it for the struggle, the laughs, and the occasional, wait, that actually worked moment, C tier is your jam. Just remember, Electric Plug, Golden Sneaker, Idle Juice, and Bloody Cleaver. Each one has its quirks, each one has its limits, and each one can make your Megabonk adventure just a little bit more unpredictable. The items in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Beefy Ring, Phantom Shroud, Scarf, and Brass Knuckles. Let's dive into B tier, where things start to get interesting. These items aren't the absolute best, but they definitely have some personality. They reward players who know how to play smart, and honestly, they can make your Megabonk runs feel a lot more exciting. Starting strong with the Beefy Ring. If you're running a tank build, this one is basically your best friend. It provides a massive damage boost, which is perfect for those times when you want to hit hard and survive longer. On top of that, it gives a minimal max health increase. Minimal, yes, but every little bit counts when you're trying to stand in the middle of a mob and not instantly regret it. Next up, we've got the Phantom Shroud. Oh man, this one is stylish and deadly if used right. It temporarily increases both your attack speed and movement speed, which instantly makes you feel like a ninja on caffeine. The best part, after evading an attack, you deal double damage. Pair it with the evasion tome, and you're basically a blur of pain and chaos for your enemies. The catch, of course, is that it really shines only in high movement or evasion-focused builds. Slow and steady types, this one might leave you feeling a little left behind. Then there's the Scarf. Not just a fashion statement, this item gives a massive damage boost while you're in the air. Stack duplicates, and suddenly boss fights turn into aerial fireworks displays of destruction. The downside, it doesn't do much if your build is low mobility. You'll need extra jump or jump height upgrades to make the most of it. Basically, it's the perfect item for players who like to float above the chaos and rain down fury. Let's not forget Brass Knuckles. These are all about close quarters chaos. They deal extra damage to enemies that are closer to you, making them perfect for melee builds. If you like smashing through hordes like a human wrecking ball, this one's for you. Just note that the exact range isn't specified, and duplicate effects aren't fully clear, so some trial and error might be necessary, but isn't that part of the fun? B tier items are all about strategy and timing. Unlike C tier, you don't just throw these on and hope for the best. You have to think about your build, your mobility, and how each item synergizes with the others. When used correctly, they can elevate your game significantly, but misuse them and they might leave you frustrated. What's fun about B tier is how situational these items are. You might love your Scarf in one run and wonder why you even picked it in another. Phantom Shroud makes you feel unstoppable one moment and completely useless the next if you can't dodge properly. It's a constant test of your adaptability, and honestly, that's what keeps Megabonk interesting. If you're the kind of player who enjoys tweaking builds and experimenting, B tier is basically your playground. Beefy Ring will keep your tank alive and smashing, Brass Knuckles will have you in the thick of every fight, and Scarf plus Phantom Shroud give you that flashy, skill-based flair that feels so rewarding. These items don't carry you automatically, they demand a little thought, a little skill, and a lot of timing. So remember this. B tier isn't about meh or okay. It's about opportunity. It's about turning items that might seem situational or tricky into absolute powerhouses with the right setup. Beefy Ring, Phantom Shroud, Scarf, and Brass Knuckles. Each one has its quirks, its strengths, and the potential to make your Megabonk run truly unforgettable. The items in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Coward's Cloak, Beacon, Demonic Blade, Kevin, Eagle Claw, Giant Fork, Cactus, and Demonic Soul. Alright, if you thought B tier was exciting, welcome to a tier where things start getting seriously spicy. These items are the kind that make you feel like a legend walking into Megabonk. Every pickup matters, every combo can turn a run around, and honestly, some of these will make you wonder how you ever survive without them. Let's kick things off with Coward's Cloak. Don't let the name fool you. This cloak is all about survival and speed. It permanently increases your base movement speed, which means you can zip around the battlefield like a caffeinated skeleton. On top of that, whenever you take damage, you get a temporary movement speed boost. It's perfect for dodging chaos, escaping tight spots, or just feeling like the wind itself. Early on in a run, it can literally save your life. Next up is Beacon. This item is a healer's dream. Charge shrines that you pick up after getting this item turn into healing zones, giving your team, or just you, a chance to recover mid-battle. On top of that, 2 extra charge shrines will spawn on future stages. And yes, that means more healing, more power-ups, and more stat boosts. Picture this, you're about to face a boss, and suddenly, you've got multiple healing zones ready to soak up all the chaos. Pure bliss. Now, let's talk about Demonic Blade. If you're running a crit build, this is basically a must-have. Crit hits can heal you, which makes low rarity lifesteal builds not just viable, but downright fun. And it stacks to increase crit chance, meaning the more you attack, the more deadly and self-sustaining you become. It's like a vicious cycle of pain for your enemies, and a steady drip of health for you. Then we have Kevin. This one's a bit of a wildcard. In the right setup, especially with the Kevin X Mirror combo, it grants near immortality. Perfect for builds that rely on on-hit effects. But beware, without the mirror or other lifesteal or overheal items, Kevin can actually be detrimental. It's one of those love it or hate it items that demands a very specific build to shine. Moving on to Eagle Claw. If you've ever wished you could rain extra pain on airborne enemies, this is your ticket. deals extra damage to enemies in the air, which makes it incredibly handy against bees, wisps, and ghosts. And thanks to its knockback, it actually edges out the scarf in some situations. Basically, Eagle Claw turns you into a sky-sniping menace. Next is Giant Fork, and yes, it lives up to its over-the-top name. This is a crit-based monster. It transforms your crits into mega crits, dealing massive damage, and scales exceptionally well with CL4 and coordinates. If you're not running a crit build though, it's a bit like trying to use a rocket launcher to crack a peanut. Fun to look at, but not very practical. Let's not forget Cactus. This is the ultimate item for thorns-based builds. Every time you take damage, it shoots spikes at enemies, essentially turning you into a walking trap. As your thorns stats increase, this becomes more than just a defensive item, it turns into an extra offensive weapon. The only hiccup, the unlock quest is notoriously tricky, so you'll need some patience if you want to add this prickly friend to your arsenal. Finally, Demonic Soul. Oh boy, this one scales beautifully. Damage increases with every kill, and duplicates stack up to a maximum of 100% damage. Imagine a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and deadlier with each step. That's Demonic Soul. It's the perfect item for aggressive, high-risk players who thrive on momentum and chaos. What makes a tier item so satisfying is that they actually reward skill, strategy, and sometimes a little bit of luck. Unlike lower tiers, you can see their impact instantly, pick up the right combo, and suddenly, your run goes from precarious to unstoppable. Coward's Cloak keeps you fast and slippery, Beacon heals and buffs like a supportive godsend, Demonic Blade punishes your enemies while keeping you alive, and Kevin keeps you immortal if you know what you're doing. Each item has a clear purpose, and when used correctly, the payoff is massive. Eagle Claw lets you dominate the skies, while Giant Fork transforms critical hits into pure devastation. Cactus punishes enemies who dare hit you, and Demonic Soul makes every kill feel like a mini power-up. You start realizing that A tier isn't just about raw numbers, it's about smart plays, perfect timing, and synergy. Another fun thing about A tier is how much it encourages creativity. Mix and match these items, and suddenly even a mediocre run can turn into a highlight reel. Whether you're zipping around with Coward's Cloak or raining damage from above with Eagle Claw, each choice feels impactful. It's strategy, flair, and chaos all rolled into one. The beauty of A tier is that it's versatile. You can go full lifesteal, full crit, thorns based, or mix a little of everything. The items scale well, reward careful planning, and make you feel like a true Megabonk master. You're not just playing, you're orchestrating chaos. Of course, there are risks. Kevin without a mirror, Demonic Blade without crit synergy, Cactus without the unlock quest completed. These items demand respect, and they'll punish you if you don't understand them. But that's what makes mastering A tier so rewarding. It separates the casual players from the pros. In the end, A tier is where Megabonk gets really fun. Coward's Cloak, Beacon, Demonic Blade, Kevin, Eagle Claw, Giant Fork, Cactus, and Demonic Soul aren't just items, they're tools for domination. They let you experiment, strategize, and laugh maniacally as you wipe the floor with enemies who never saw it coming. So, if you want to take your runs to the next level, start prioritizing these items. Learn their quirks, find the perfect combos, and watch as your Megabonk adventures go from meh to legendary. A tier is the playground for the skilled, the clever, and the slightly chaotic. And honestly, that's exactly where we want to be. The items in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Anvil, Holy Book, Sucky Magnet, Dragonfire, Chunk Plate, Zewarudo, Gas Mask, and Ice Cube. Alright, buckle up, because we've officially entered the S tier, where items stop playing around and start straight up dominating your Megabonk run. These are the items that make you feel like a demigod walking through chaos, where every pickup is basically a cheat code. First up, Anvil. This one is a weapon scaling dream. Weapon upgrade offers now come with 3 stats instead of 2, making it way easier to boost your damage and optimize your gear. And the best part? It works with every weapon and any build. Basically, it's like adding nitro to your car, everything just goes faster and smoother. Next, Holy Book. If you're into maxing out your health and staying alive forever, this is your item. It increases max health and health regeneration without any trade-offs, which is already insane. But here's the kicker: every time you heal, nearby enemies take damage. So not only are you tough as nails, you're punishing anyone who dares to come close. Absolute unit. Now, let's talk Sucky Magnet. This little guy is a blessing for XP hoarders. After every few seconds, it pulls in all nearby experience points, meaning you don't even need to invest in pickup range. Leveling up and farming XP becomes effortless, letting you focus on actually demolishing enemies instead of chasing loot. Then we have Dragonfire. This one brings the heat, literally. It can inflict burn on mobs and bosses for damage over time and duplicates stack to increase the chance. The damage scales incredibly quickly, making Dragonfire a must-have for late game runs. Picture a trail of fire following your every move. Terrifying for enemies, glorious for you. Chunk Plate is next, and yes, it's as beefy as it sounds. It's the only item in the game that can overheal, and stacking it increases your health cap. Combine that with lifesteal, and you can create a tank build that borders on broken. Enemies hit you, you heal, you stack health, rinse, repeat. Basically, you're a walking, unstoppable fortress. Now let's get flashy with Zawarudo. This item is pure chaos in your favor. When you take a fatal hit, it restores full health and freezes time. Pick up duplicates, and each one is like gaining an extra life. It's insane, especially during final boss fights where one mistake could ruin your run. Imagine getting hit, time stops, and suddenly you're back in control. Epic. Next, Gas Mask. Poison lovers, rejoice. This item scales armor and lifesteal by poisoning enemies and can even provide overheal with enough duplicates. It synergizes extremely well with a Mog and any poison-based builds, making you practically untouchable while enemies slowly melt under your toxic grip. It's nasty, in the best way. And finally, Ice Cube. It's not just cool, it's freezing cold. It deals ice damage to enemies with a chance to freeze them for a few seconds. Duplicates stack, increasing both damage and freeze chance. Picture a battlefield where enemies are constantly slowed or frozen mid-fight while you casually dish out pain. That's Ice Cube magic. S tier is where the game feels truly rewarding. Unlike lower tiers, you don't just survive, you dominate. Every item has clear, powerful effects, and the combos you can create are almost unfairly strong. Picking the right combination here can turn a good run into a legendary one. Anvil lets your weapons scale ridiculously fast. Holy Book keeps you alive while punishing anyone who dares touch you. Sucky Magnet turns XP farming into a breeze, and Dragonfire burns everything to ashes. Each one alone is strong, but together, let's just say chaos will have a new definition. Chunk Plate and lifesteal builds are basically unkillable. Zawarudo gives you an extra life every time, making final bosses nervous just by existing. Gas Mask and Poison Synergy make enemies think twice about approaching, and Ice Cube, it's the ultimate crowd control, slowing and freezing your way to victory. S-tier items reward creativity, skill, and sometimes a little daring. They make every run feel unique and explosive. You want to experiment? Go ahead. These items can handle anything you throw at them, and then some. They also make you feel like a Megabonk superstar. You're faster, tankier, deadlier, and more strategic than ever. Every pickup is a power-up that reshapes your strategy, making you rethink how to approach every fight. In short, S-tier isn't just about power, it's about mastery. Anvil, Holy Book, Sucky Magnet, Dragonfire, Chunk Plate, Zawarudo, Gas Mask, and Ice Cube. Each one is a game changer. Pick wisely, combo cleverly, and watch as your run becomes unforgettable. By the time you're wielding these items, Megabonk isn't just a game anymore. It's your playground of chaos, strategy, and absolute destruction. S-tier is where legends are born, and honestly, you deserve to feel unstoppable. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.